Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're here with the Florida Fishing Report and Doc Talk with Grayson Shepard. If Biden forgets coronavirus, we'll be able to open up our vacation rentals. Will Corona ruin our red snapper season? What's being caught in Florida locally and all over the state? Red grouper changes proposed, and people coughing, calling, and trying to book charters. Make sure to stick around. You don't want to miss all this good content. Hey everybody, I'm Capt Peterson. If you want to have fun learning about catching big fish, boats, and cool gear, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We have many more videos to come. The More Than Just Fishing Report has big fish catches, fishing tips, current events in the fishing world covering Florida, the United States, and all over the world in saltwater. Be a part of the bi-weekly show by messaging me topics and sending me some big fish pictures and story ideas to my Instagram account and to my Facebook page. The links are here. Wait, you can't hear me? You can't hear me? Well, let the whole rest of the world hear me. That the Second Amendment is something that we need to protect. So we've got all kind of drama on the local Facebook pages, and I'm sure people all over the state, because this vacation rental thing, it's all over. We've got all kind of letters getting sent out to different congressmen and women, and what have you seen? You're really active in the social media locally.
We just our area here is a vacation rental driven area. That's the main part of our economy. That's what brings tourists to our area. They stay on beach houses out on St. George Island, and with the vacation rentals being banned right now, that of course limits who can come here. These are our clients. They need a place to stay.
Yeah. How many times have you got called this week? And
Oh,
like,
gosh.
we want to come so bad, 2-3 a day, and there's just no place for them to stay.
That's probably, hotels are opened on a limited basis, but still, you've got people that have made reservations for the summer for their beach houses, and they're not sure if they're gonna be able to come or not.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, some of it's financial. Some people have like elders that they don't want to get sick if they came here and got them sick, kind of thing. But most of it's they got no place to stay. And I mean, I know a local captain that we know good. He said he had 7 people cancel in one day on Monday.
It's outrageous. He was able to salvage a few of those trips just because he posted on Facebook that some of his clients saw that and reached out to kind of help him out to fill in some of those vacancies. But it's definitely an issue. It's something we're going to have to deal with here, hopefully
really,
before red snapper season starts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Is this going to affect our snapper season? I mean, we make probably, what, 80% of our income during snapper season, during June and July?
Yeah, exactly. June and July are definitely our hot season for being federal captains for going offshore. And most of our schedules are already booked long in advance. And these people have made reservations for places to stay. So they're up in the air. They don't know if they're going to be able to come because they don't have a place to stay.
Don't have a place to stay. People keep asking, like, are the restaurants open? Yeah, the restaurants are open. Are the beaches open? The beaches are open. I've seen people from all over the country and all over the southeast that have started coming back down, and it's kind of a mixed bag. There's a lot of people that are older in our community, and probably in a lot of other resort communities. Older people tend to have the homes in the vacation areas because they don't need necessarily all the services that people do in big cities with the kids and whatnot. But it's tough, man, and we have a lot of friends that have businesses in our local coastal community that are struggling. And I think we all want to see everybody get a fair chance at this. We've got, especially around here, generational businesses that are struggling and suffering, and it's tough to see people that through no fault of their own struggle and struggle to pay people that have been with them for years and decades sometimes.
Absolutely. It's just there's so much unknown and uncertainty with this, and like I said earlier, the summer is our bread and butter season. We're a family-oriented community, a vacation destination. Usually, we're busy when the kids are out of school. Now all that's just been thrown upside down this season, and everybody's fear of traveling, people coming from high concentrated infection spots coming here where we really are blessed. We're pretty limited with what kind of exposure we've had. But as tourists come, what do they bring with them? So it's a catch-22 situation for sure, and a lot of the older residents here are terrified.
Yeah, I mean, our hospitals are small, and our capacity to deal with these things is not like an average area. And we've been lucky; we've only had 2 cases so far, so we've been very safe.
And both of those had full recoveries.
Yeah.
Neither of those people had to go to the hospital. So
yeah, and they were both had traveled internationally or something, and and even the county over in Gulf County, it's the same way.
Yeah, they've only got one confirmed case.
And even Leon County, our urban center, if you will, around here, they've had hardly anything compared to the rest of the state. We have lots of family and friends from up north, and they think that all Florida is like this wasteland of coronavirus. We're here to tell you that's not the case. South Florida, Miami, south has really been hit hard, and they've started to open things up a little bit. Even it's just, like you said, nobody knows what's going on, and people, let's face it, if you can afford to do deep sea charter fishing trip, it's something that you don't get to do often. It's not exactly a cheap thing to do. So some people are canceling with us because it's a sheer financial thing, and that's tough too. We've got people that we've taken out for years and years, and they can't get out, and you feel bad about that, especially you start to see their kids grow up, and
Sure.
It's just tough, like not just financially, emotionally, for the community. I mean, this community is a community much like other tourist areas that we live and thrive on giving other people an experience. We're very selfless that way, and we're not able to do that, and it's really weird. Like, we've got people calling us. I had somebody call me from a California number, and they were coughing and wanted to book a charter, and it was like a big area in California, and I'm like where does the ethics of booking somebody, like, are we supposed to go out and like start taking people's temperature and screening them? There's like this app where you can ask them these questions, and what that puts us in a really weird position. I know a lot of airlines are like saying you got to have masks on to get on an airplane. Is that something we're going to do? I know I read in South Florida, down like the Keys or something, or maybe it was Naples, like these big headboat captains that normally would have 40 people, they're like limiting to like 10 and 20 people. Like, how are they going to make any money?
Right.
If you're immunocompromised and you're a captain and you can have 6 people on your boat, most of us run 24 to 26 foot boats, maybe 30 or 35 if you get a little bit bigger one. You can't social distance with more than 3 or 4 people on a boat like that. So like, we're not going to have as many charters that way too. And Grayson and I were talking, we've been reading more and more about the shell fishing industry and the commercial fishing industry. They've got these big lobbyist groups working on things to get them money and to get them funds. The federal government, like after the hurricanes, like you were talking about Irma earlier, you said they offered to give you some money, but you didn't.
Yeah, the Hurricane Irma through FWC, I believe it is. They have it's not a bailout, but just reaching out to commercial fishermen. I have a saltwater products license. I've done some commercial lionfish diving and sold the fish in the past, and so I was eligible for some money back from the state of Florida from Hurricane Irma, but Hurricane Irma didn't really affect us here. Yeah. FWC definitely is allowing some funds for Hurricane Irma relief. Well, Hurricane Irma was two and a half years ago. It's back in the past. It didn't really affect us. Hurricane Irma is the one that really hit the Keys badly, right across the whole marathon, that central part of the Keys.
I think it even hit the West Coast too.
Right. Then it hooked back up, and then it came ashore down there close to Tampa, and they kind of ran right up the middle of the state and then went on out, through Georgia, I guess out through Savannah. Did not really affect us here. Not nearly like they thought.
But they just put out something where like you had to apply before the 23rd or this month or something.
Yeah, they got deadline for those funds, and absolutely, the captains down in the central west coast of Florida, and absolutely in the Keys, are eligible for that and deserve it and need it.
For sure.
For us, not so much. Now, Hurricane Michael,
that's a different story completely.
Totally different story.
Because there was water where we're standing right now.
Oh yeah,
Hurricane Michael.
Where we were standing, our heads would have been underwater.
We could have drove our offshore boats here, no problem.
Absolutely. So Hurricane Michael, that was October 11th.
Stings. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. That was within 18 months of this, and these people that had Irma down south, then they had like big red tide issues, and then they had this. Like in 2 years, they had 3 major 100-year events happen. And it seems like as charter captains, we're always on the short end of the stick with that. These commercial guys and a lot of other tourist industries, they seem to be kind of taken care of. But it's like we're independent contractors or independent owners of our own companies, and our deckhands, it's like we're always kind of like we're supposed to be able to apply for unemployment here with this thing. And I know multiple captains that have applied for it. We haven't heard nothing back. And it's like the fishermen for thousands of years have always been like, kill what you eat. And I don't think it's really much different now.
I've been a layman all my life, and I can look at it from the other side of the screen and say, well, cry me a river. Yeah. We're charter captains. We fish for a living.
I know there's
worse things to do, and suck it up, Buttercup, quit whining, get back on your boat and go fishing.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like-
I don't know. But people don't have as much. When it's good, it doesn't get any better. Grayson's definitely got that right. Like being a charter captain it's a blessing, and we're very fortunate to be able to do that. And
We are.
a lot
It's
of
a
people
job,
love
though.
to switch places with us, and it's a business, and not everybody views it that way. But I mean, it is, and there's risk involved. Like sometimes your boat can break during the season, you can miss out on tens of thousands of dollars of trips. And sometimes you go 2 times a day, and you can make so much money that compared to a lot of people around here, you can make in a month what people make all year. And it's high risk, high reward, I guess. I guess fishing's always kind of been that way.
It's high risk, but another aspect of it that people don't take into consideration is the responsibility.
Right.
For
lives.
We're getting paid to take people out there to go fishing. We are getting paid to take a family. It could be a husband, wife, children. It could be a grandfather, his son,
92-year-old,
grandson.
yeah.
A lot of times we have generational charters here, and these people are trusting us with their lives to use our vessels, our experience to make judgment calls that could potentially have life or death ramifications.
Easily.
We've got to go out, and we're off 25, 30, 35 miles offshore, way beyond immediate help.
I mean, we got each other, and we're on the radio.
We got
and
each
all
other,
that.
and we do. We all look out for each other. We've got a really good group of people around here. We've got, there's radios, there's the Coast Guard, there are things out there. It's not like we're completely alone. But still, situations change quickly on the water. We have storms that blow up, especially in the summertime, lightning.
People have medical emergencies out there.
All kinds of things like
you'd
that.
be surprised the crazy things that happen just in a year that we not only we deal with necessarily, but that within our scope of captains we hear about. And
it's a sobering moment when you're a young captain. You first get your license, you get your first real charter, and you go offshore, and you're out there outside of land, and it really hits you that you hold these people's lives in your hand. Your decisions are what could lead to success or failure, and failure is not an option.
I mean, just this last weekend, 3 people capsized 70 miles outside of here. The Coast Guard saved them, and they're two people and a dog.
Two people and a dog.
And it's like there was a guy in Alligator Point maybe 6 months ago. Their boat went down a mile offshore at night, and like 2 of them were lost at sea. One was like eaten by a shark or something ridiculous. I mean, it's
so things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you go out through that pass, it's treacherous.
Yeah, it's nothing to play with, and a lot of people don't get it. I mean, when you get out there and you have an issue as a captain your first time, you really, somebody slips and falls, or you slip and fall, or something happens, it really makes you start thinking, how close you are to something bad, and that's why you hire us. I always joke, especially when I first started, it's like you don't pay for me to take you fishing, you pay for me to get you back.
There you go.
And I mean, it's for me too, and luckily, we've been on the water. I've been on the water since I was 4, and piloting boats since I was 10, and had cousins and uncles and brothers and sisters I would take out. My grandpa got too old, and I was the one that was doing it, and I still do it to this day. And I'm lucky to get paid for it.
Right.
The University of Florida's got I think it was like $400,000 grant. I'll put the link in the comments for the video to study the effects of the coronavirus and how it's affecting the commercial fishing and us. And then there's also the big $280,000 grant, I think it was, for the red tide after Irma. So there are people that are hearing what we're doing, and doing things about it. We've also got the local, the city council and the county commission are sending letters to, the representatives or Governor DeSantis to get these vacation rental bans. And that's the thing that's really killing us. Like, we've got all these hotels that can stay open, and these big businesses probably with big lobbies as usual. But us little guys that, have vacation rentals, we're not able to host people in our homes. And I think I'm on point when I say it's not just us, it's the whole panhandle.
Oh, absolutely.
We thrive on this time of year, and if we don't have it, like,
Most of the state senators or most of the congressmen for the Panhandle area have definitely approached Governor DeSantis to try to get him to loosen some of these restrictions. Like I said, he opened up hotels, but not vacation rentals. And you've got a home on the beach or in a beach community. A family goes to a home. They park there in the driveway. They're going to stay in that home. They go to a hotel, you've got the lobby, you've got the elevator, you've got the community pool. Everybody's kind of bustling together there. And of course, there's sterilization techniques and all that. And I'm not behooving the hotel industry, but it seems a lot safer to be in an individual home. with your family, doing your own thing and interacting just with your family.
Yeah, not going to the restaurant there, and staying outside and just going to the grocery store. And unfortunately, we haven't really been hit by this in this area so much, and a lot of people aren't doing social distancing really hardly at all. It seems like out in public, they're hugging each other, and I mean maybe 5% of the people around here wear masks. You go up to Tallahassee and go grocery shopping, everybody's got them, and I should probably have one on right now, and so should he.
Yeah, well, we are Florida.
Yeah,
we kind of a reputation for being.
And we're like about 5 feet.
We're close. We got a good breeze blowing off the water.
Yeah, it's going
this
straight this way.
Anything that we're exhaling is going away from us. I think we're.
I mean, we're doing this to make ourselves feel better and to not sound like idiots on camera, honestly. But
I think we are taking measures here.
Yeah, we were thoughtful in our approach, at least.
Plus, we have quarantined for what now? 44 days
for a shipload.
quite a while.
We have been quarantined. I mean, I haven't done anything, but I brought my kids to the beach. Finally, we were able to go back to the beach.
Right. Yep, they just opened up Friday, I believe. Took restrictions off.
Yeah, and I mean, we're ready to go fishing. The fish are biting. I mean, they're out there. There's tons of grouper and tons of snapper to catch, and I know there's tons of cobia. The wind has been terrible. It's been horrible. Even if we had trips the next 5-6 days,
right.
We ain't going out.
Yeah, I've got people on hold right now that they're wanting to go offshore fishing, and we can't do it. It's 7, 8, 9 foot seas forecast for the rest of the week. Maybe this weekend, we'll see.
Yeah, I got some trips coming up. I desperately would like to get these people out. It's
the fish are there. The fish are definitely out there. They're wondering where we are, where we've been. They're hungry. They want to take a trip to land.
Yeah.
The water's getting warm. They're looking forward to getting put on ice.
I've been seeing the captains down in South Florida. They've been catching kings and tuna and stuff, and the cobia have been here. I've seen reports in Destin and Pensacola. People are catching cobia. People are catching mahis and wahoo out over there. So out to the southwest, we're gonna be able to get some mahi action.
Absolutely.
And triple tail are in the bay. They're like crazy. People are catching them. I think the tarpon are very close to showing up.
I haven't heard of any. It's about time. The water's about 72, 73 degrees in the bay, so they should be showing up. The first wave starting to show up. That really picks up pretty heavy in June, late June, early
they're
July.
probably out towards the east of Dog Island now. They're probably starting to show up. I've heard people catching mangroves in the bay even. Not barely legal, but they've been catching some, which is kind of rare around here.
It is. They'll show up in the past. They'll show up around the docks over on St. George Island, but in the bay is pretty rare.
Yeah, over by the bridge and stuff. Pompano bite. People have been catching them on the beach.
Still hearing some scattered reports about an occasional pompano being caught.
Yeah, the kings are definitely out there.
Kings are out. The commercial
Spanish.
king fleet is out there right now in some of the close-in numbers.
Are they out out to the King Rock area?
Yeah, been some commercial guys out there. But redfish, to go back to the bay, the red fishing has been excellent.
Yeah.
Flounder right now is
they've been killing flounder
a lot
like
of flounder,
crazy. Yeah.
A lot of flounder. The guys that go out at night and gig them have been doing great. But even some of the bay captains have been doing well catching them in certain areas. Trout, still trout. A lot of short trout, but people are getting keeper trout. Spanish are here now in mass. If you start seeing birds out there, definitely shoot for the birds because chances are there's Spanish underneath them.
Yeah.
Anything silver.
Yeah, just some silver and
They love
fast.
it, yeah.
Those little tube jigs, with the little gold hooks and the, looks like little sunglass leaders. Those things work good on them too.
But, definitely triple tail are here. There's plenty of triple tails.
You can just go look for anything floating out there. Get on some corks for some crab pots or whatnot. Maybe even the pilings and stuff. And I hear, if you're out to the, the east of Dog Island, even you can get some cobia sometimes at some of those the poles and out at the One More Time. I don't know if you've probably fished there a couple times.
Yeah, they're outside of West Pass, or the East Pass.
Yeah, and it's Amberjack season. Let's not forget Amberjack season. My favorite time of the year. Haven't been able to get out to the good Amberjack spots. I think you made it out once.
I made it one time. One good day we had, and I took a group out. It was a charter. Went to a couple of spots. We got on some good Amberjacks. We ended up bringing a limit in. We had 5.
It's a good day.
And good size ones. They were all several 36, 37 inches. A lot of shorts, a lot that were 33 right underneath.
We got a buddy Tommy Merrill that likes to go get some Amberjacks during commercial season.
Yeah,
he's too good at it.
Ones. He's going for 100 pounds.
Yeah, he is, and he's gotten a few, man.
I did have an interesting fish story. I've got a huge tsunami big topwater plug. Looks almost like a beer can with treble hooks.
Yeah.
Big thing. It really is. and threw it out there, caught a couple of amberjacks on it, had thrown it out another time and saw something big and brown coming after it. And I knew it was a 80-pound cobia. I just knew it. And I worked that lure, and it came out, and it was a tiger shark who actually bit the lure off of the line. It came up out of the water, just chomped it probably 20 feet behind the boat. And I was like, total shock. I wasn't expecting that. But the lure popped back up to the surface. So I tied a little bait box, an empty water bottle to a bait box, and threw that in the water. So it kind of drifted along. I could see the plug on. We were anchored, so I didn't pull the anchor to go after a plug. But took a bearing with the compass, watched it drift off with the wind, and about 30, 45 minutes later, we pulled anchor. I went down on that compass bearing, and about half a mile downstream, I saw the box floating, and I'll be damned if my lure wasn't about 30 feet away from the box. So a little trick, and it worked out fine. So I recovered the lure, had a couple of bite marks on it, but thank goodness the shark didn't grab the hook. And of course, retrieved the empty water bottle in the bait box. We don't litter out there. We bring all of our trash in with us.
100%.
But yeah, it was a neat story. I knew for sure I had a big cobia, but no, it was a tiger.
Yeah, son of a guns out there. They're out there thick. You know, get out to them bigger wrecks about this time of year till the fall. They put a hurting on us. And
I'll tell you, on that particular trip, we were targeting AJs and mangrove snapper. We could not get a single mangrove snapper in the box. Red snapper were just they ruined us.
Isn't it weird how I think you're talking about the Empire Mica area. Like sometimes you can go there and you can only catch red snapper, and sometimes you go there and you can only catch mangroves.
It's bizarre.
And it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Maybe the moon has something to do with it, but I've been to the same spot, that spot that we go to, the live bottom about 15 miles out, twice in one day. I've had 2 trips. I went in the morning, couldn't catch a thing. Went in the afternoon and just hammered them. I mean, it's like
biorhythms. It's the fish.
We like to think we know it all, but
yeah.
We got it a lot easier than the Bay guys do, that's for sure. But it does make a difference. I mean, that tide and that current, sometimes you get out there, your favorite spot, and the spot you've caught amberjacks on like crazy, and you just can't get a bite to save your life.
No.
I mean, it's a good thing we got lots of spots.
But we do have bait. That's one thing with this, with the whole coronavirus kind of keeping us in port. The last few times I've gone out, man, the live bait are just all over the place. Schools of pogies, big ones, medium, small ones have been pretty easy to find. So normally in the spring it's a struggle, but we kind of missed our spring fishing season. So I was pleasantly surprised to go out there and find plenty of live bait, which makes a definite difference. I know Tim's an artificial guy. He likes to use artificial. I lean more towards the live bait because I always got artificial as backup if I need it. But yeah, real pleasantly surprised the amount of life right now that's in the Apalachicola Bay. It's spectacular.
It's
great. A lot of fish out there.
Yeah. Well, until next time, guys, we'd like to thank you guys for watching. We've had a good time sharing with you this stuff. If you have any comments, complaints, suggestions, or any ways we can make this show better, let us know. Go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. I'll put the links for that and for Facebook, or you can reach out to Grayson on Instagram also. If you got any fish pictures or stories or anything you want to share with us, we'd be more than happy to give you a shout out. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Resort Vacation Properties, Brownells, and Salt Life. If you believe in living a waterful life isn't something you just do for fun, but it's part of who you are, like, subscribe, and share the channel below so we can help you inspire just that.